this is how I write my fantasy, how I even write my romance. Okay, and I've shared this with authors before. I had one person who actually is a colleague with Malong Book Publishing. She's a brilliant author. All of the people who work with us are authors as well. And she said, well, they say to write things you know, but how do you write things that you don't know, like a fantasy world? And I said, oh, this would be a perfect video to upload on TikTok. The way that I do that is I have a background in theater and film. So I have always been obsessed with movies. So for me, it's about writing scenes, okay? And you've probably heard this before at some point, but if you haven't, now you have. I visualize everything that ever happens in my books as movie scenes. So I visualize a movie in my head before it even goes onto the paper. And I visualize every little detail of that movie as if I'm watching it on the screen. Okay, so that's just my tip and my trick. When I'm satisfied with how that movie looks in my mind, and sometimes I'll change things up, sometimes I'll put it into a voice recorder just to hear it play out and visualize it as I'm walking on the treadmill or something like that. Once I'm satisfied with how it looks as a scene, that's when it goes onto the paper. And if I can't visualize it as a movie, people talking to each other, the casual dialogue, the interactions between each other, the way a character moves, the way a character, his lip curls up or his, however you want to describe it. If I can't visualize that, then I know I haven't done my job. Okay, so that's the advice I give to authors. I actually just gave that to one of my authors who just put out a really amazing book. You can go to the Malong Book Publishing page to take a look at some of the new books that just launched. But what I told her is the same as I would tell you. The scene, each chapter should be a scene, okay? And that scene should have played in your mind. You know everything that these characters are doing. Because when you put that onto paper and you read it back, you'll realize how well it flows. And so that's just a writing tip to help, especially if you're stuck. Because if you start allowing yourself to imagine what could happen, what might happen, without giving yourself the pressure of getting it onto paper, you'll learn that it actually flows a little bit easier. So those are my tips for today, and I hope you